Are we ready?
Yeah. So we like to finish programming the season in time to get next year's season renewals out, right?
Yeah,
so we
right.
like to, right about July, know what the next season is going to be. And we had a show, a very exciting show that we'll do at some point, and everyone's going to love it. But we had a show picked for slot 5.
Yeah.
And then we got a call from Music Theater International, one of the licensing houses, and they said, oh, by the way, Les Mis is available. So the next time you want to do it, just let me know. And we were like,
now?
We want to do it now.
Yes. Yeah. And funnily enough, in my wisdom of taking this job and, and cleaning out our warehouse, which we have a warehouse that has lots of shows in it, right? And we had a Les Mis set because we've done it in, it was 2012, 13 when we did the last time. And it's been sitting there ever since. And I said to Mary Sue, oh, let's get rid of Les Mis because it's going to be on tour forever. There's an arena tour going out. We're never going to do the show. So let's get rid of that pile of sticks that's the barricade. Cut to the phone call.
Yeah.
So we are very excited that we're doing Les Mis. I mean, it is an epic show. It is one of the most iconic Broadway shows of all time. And because we don't have a set, we're designing a new set. And we have a really great local set designer. You've seen his work on Something Rotten and Cats. His name is Jordan Slusher. And we just had our first creative design meeting yesterday. And the stuff he's come up with is gorgeous and spectacular and serves the show. What's so great about Jordan is that he knows how to tell a story and how to support a story through his set design. And it makes my job as the director so much easier and helps me come up with so much more material and backstory. And it's really he's such a great collaborator. So excited about that first.
Yeah.
The show opened in 1987. When I thought that, I was like, oh my God, I was in high school when it opened. And, it was iconic for me to hear that music all the time. I listened to it all the time. I could sing every song, every note, every riff, and it probably wasn't very good, but I did it anyway. And then it ran for so long, and then there's been at least 2 revivals of it. The question is, will we be using a turntable? Because that was the iconic thing that started. That was the first big thing. Is like everyone was like, the original set design had a turntable. We will not be using a turntable, but we will have things that are turning in kind of homage to the original set design. None of the tours or anything past the use a turntable anymore anyway. And turntables are kind of, we will be using a turntable in this season, but just not that show. Are we? Maybe we are. I can't remember. Maybe we are. Anyway, we've used a turntable.
To be determined.
We've used a turntable before, so it's not that.
We can do it.
But it was a major event when it happened because it was like maybe the first time on Broadway they had done it. I'm not sure, but it was a major, huge thing. We use turntables all the time now. But the show is written by, I'm gonna look at my notes, Claude Michel Schoenberg and Alain Boublil. I think I'm saying it right. But it's based on the novel by
Victor Hugo. I said that's the word. That's the name I can pronounce. Yeah, Les Miserables, the book is 1,200 pages. I mean, it is.
I bought it to
epic.
read it because I thought, and I've opened it and I've read the first page, and because again, you're like it's so many pages and it's fun. It's a lot.
Yes.
So I will get through it at some point to help as the director of the show, just do my due diligence and to make sure I know what I'm talking about and directing. But it is a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Just like the musical's a lot. Like I was just saying before we went on air, there's, in the first 12 minutes we go through, there's so much that's packed into that musical. This is about Jean Valjean, who is, he has been convicted of a crime, a very small crime, but he spent the last 19 years in prison. He gets a reprieve. He goes out and makes one more bad decision. But for me, the crux of it is the bishop.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll weep through that.
I mean, the especially in this time of such divisiveness and where we are in history, we always seem to be at the same place, but the bishop for me is the one who shows compassion, and because they want to throw him back in jail for stealing this silver, and he's just trying to survive, right? Because he's been given a raw deal, Jean Valjean. But the bishop shows him kindness and grace, and it changes. And in an instant, his life changes, and his perspective changes, and he spends the rest of his life trying to make amends for so many things. He's like the ultimate do-gooder. He gets presented with all of these challenges about like raising Fantine's child, and he feels bad because he threw Fantine out of he didn't stop Fantine from being thrown out of the mill when she was a factory worker, and then so he takes the mantle of like raising her child, right? And then there's so many moments where he is trying to find redemption for so many different things, and it's the journey is epic, and there's so much stuff that happens, and it's all during the French Revolution, and he's being followed by Javert, who's like the ultimate lawman, who is pretty like black. We talk about black and white thinking. Javert's pretty much black and white thinking, good and bad, and so he's always trying to find this guy. But he also, when he's shown some compassion and for whatever whatever his personal constitution is, he doesn't understand, and so it ends in his suicide. I mean, it's a pretty emotional. It's pretty emotional, the entire show, and the songs that each character have are pretty iconic stars that Javert sings. And, there's Fantine has her beautiful song as she's dying too, which is so, and then Eponine, over and over again, it's just so moving.
There's a reason that we all listen to it on repeat as teenagers. And I have also we've put it on in the office a couple times, and I've been like, guys, I can't. I will literally sing this whole thing. It will be so annoying because it's just like all the words and there is that like justice versus mercy thing that like is so profound, and it doesn't matter how many times you see it. It is just deeply moving. I had the privilege of speaking to a group of Girl Scouts about a month ago, and we were talking about the season, and they were really savvy musical theater kids and had lots of really good questions. But one of the girls was like, that word looks like miserable. Am I going to be miserable while I'm watching the show? And I was like, kind of. You're kind of going to, and there's just like this profound, like, you're just watching all of these terrible things happen, but then also somehow you leave that theater feeling like a euphoria, right? Like it's just such an interesting show to me, where it's like you're just like, man, one tough thing after another.
Barricade, it's hard, but
it also is a feel good show.
Right at the end of it, there's some kind of a resolution of love, and the rights kind of being. The wrongs kind of being righted, and it is, for people who haven't seen it, what's wrong with you? But the show is sung through the entire time. It's very melodic. There's, and as a dancer at heart and training, it's pretty. There's the movement is of the musical. They're not going to be dancing. There's not going to be tap dancing Javert or anything, but there is going to be, the movement of it is so cinematic. Like, I think because everything transitions, there's hardly ever going to be a blackout. Like, it's always, we're watching things happen. And so with Jordan's set too, that's what's it's going to be a lot of movement with the set, and a lot of movement with people going on and off. The cast it's not huge, but it's a larger cast. And so, but the movement and the music is so glorious and just so sweeping, I think is the right word, that you also have to match that with the direction. And so the epic nature of the entire show is going to be on display in Century 2. There's just it's just going to be glorious. I'm very excited.
Well, I'm really excited for you and for us that you're directing it, because because of your dance skills, it is very often that people will say, like, we want you to do a 42nd Street. We want you to do it like something with a lot of dance, with a lot of tap. And I think that, like, being in this artistic director role means that you get to bring those things to this production, right? Like you're right about the transitions. Like you can't not know about movement to direct a show like this. And like I've seen like little peeks into like your brain and how you work through kind of, and like, and the way that a choreographer has to think, where it's like you have to be able to see things from a bird's eye view. You have to be able to understand where every person is going. And that is mission critical for a show like this, or it could feel like it drags, right? This isn't a show that directs itself. Right. It's like it needs a lot of careful planning. Also, like we have these things called shift meetings, right? Where it's like how do we get from scene to scene, essentially? And our stage management team typically leads that. But this is going to be like extra time for that shift meeting. I'd love to kind of understand like the sinew between each of the different scenes and how everything gets put together. So I think it's going to be like a really cool end product.
I'm very excited about that. Because like we said, like the first 12 minutes of the show, because it's like it's the setting up of all the stuff, and it happens all so quickly. But you go from a shipyard to a factory to a farm to so many different things, and while we don't have a set for each one of those, each thing has its own little setup, right? Like there's a table that comes out, and all of that has to be choreographed to the music to get it out there in time, and then it gets taken away. And so it is a lot of choreography that has to happen, even though it's not a lot of dancing. And I think you're right, is that it has to be all planned out and like figured out. And so there'll be lots of paperwork and lots of planning that has to happen pre-show before people ever get into the room for us to figure out what that's going to be, so that we can, because the show is 3 hours long. So she's a long one. And so the rehearsal period has to be pretty tight and efficient, because we don't have a lot of extra time to finagle. So and so anyway, I'm excited to do it. Like you said, it's not a show that is really kind of in my wheelhouse, but I'm very excited to be able to try it and put my stamp on it. But this cast. The cast, again, like to audition in New York City for this show, and to have, multiple people coming in singing this music, and to hear the different versions of it was illuminating and spectacular and overwhelming, and all of the amount of tears I shed in the audition room from watching just the Fonteens sing their song. They had to sing, two different little clips of their, but the scene where they're dying is just so moving. And to watch really great actresses sing that stuff was great and overwhelming. And then to see the men come in and Jean Valjean is hard to sing. Yeah. Like, as a singer, it's hard. It sits in the stratosphere. There's some iconic moments that you have to have in your voice. And then Javert is so visceral in his attempts to be the lawman, and to chase after him, and to also go through his internal struggle too, especially as he gets close to the end of his life. And to watch some of these huge men come in and sing with such visceral nature, and to be able to do that just in the rehearsal room and to bring that power and that emotion was overwhelming. But we found some really great people. I think, our Jean Valjean is Wichita famous. I mean, he's more than Wichita famous, but he's a Wichita son, I guess we should say. His name is Chris Mann. I think probably a lot of you know who he is. He's from here. He went on to do The Voice. He was on, I think, season 2 of The Voice, early on in the early seasons of that show. He went on then to play the Phantom in the Phantom of the Opera on the Road. He is a personality around. He sings with symphonies and concerts and all over the world. And he reached out and was interested in being seen and wanted to come home and do this show. And so He wasn't able to come to New York to audition, and I usually don't like to receive videos. It's hard to watch. Not hard to watch. It's just hard to gauge with other people when you see people in the room and then you watch it on a screen. It's different. But he was in LA. He lives in LA, and so he sent the stuff in, and it was just fantastic too. So we were like, it's a win-win for all of us. And so we're so excited that he's going to be here. He's never gotten to play the role before. And so I think it'll be fun for him to be able to like sink his teeth into a new role and be able to be here with his family, his extended family, and be able to perform for his roots will be great. And then he's Jean Valjean. And then Javert is the guy named Andrew Magan, I think I'm saying right. He has done the show. He was on the road for 7 years and covered both Javert and Jean Valjean.
Wow.
And he came in again with so much knowledge of the show. What was interesting about auditioning too is because the show has lived since 1987 in so many different incarnations. There's been so many different directors of the different productions and different styles. If you listen to the recording of the 10th anniversary concert version, and then there's the 25th anniversary concert version, and you hear the different pop stylings of the music, it's so interesting. And to then have people come in to audition who did the show pre-pandemic, and then after the pandemic, the style of singing is so different too, like the style of the show, the way it was directed. And of course, everyone has their own. If they were in the pre-pandemic, they come in and they kind of do that style. And if they're in the show now, we had a lot of people who, the tour is about to close in June in Boston. And a lot of those people obviously are looking for work. And so they knew we were doing it. So some of them came into audition and they were all wonderful. It's just the style in which they sang or the style of their acting was totally different, whatever they're doing in the different tours. So that was kind of a fascinating study in musical theater training and direction. But this guy did pre-pandemic and afterwards, so he had like two different styles to choose from, and he was really great in the show, in the audition. So we're glad that he's coming to be with us. And then Mary Kate Moore is going to be Fantine, and she was Fantine pre-pandemic on the road, but she was also a student of mine at OCU, and so and so it's fun to see her, grow up, like watch her for 4 years in college. And when I'm teaching her in jazz class and I would say, all right, let's do 8 more. And it would sound like Kate Moore. So now every time I say it, I still think of her, which is funny. But she came in and just, first of all, it's to have that knowledge of her like in college, and to watch her perform there and then to see her move to New York and be so successful. And then to have her come in again and do the show now is just great. And she's a lovely human too, which is great. And then Eden Cabetti, I think I'm saying her name right. She is a senior she's a junior at CCM. So she'll be with us for all the season. They're letting her come back late. But she came in and sang the Eponine stuff.
A Little Follow Rain.
Yeah, that and her other song, On My Own.
Oh, yeah.
And Amanda and I looked at each other again and we were like, what just happened? I mean, it was just this, like, again, visceral, like, emotion that this youngster who's in college was able to evoke at that moment in a rehearsal room, dressed as a dancer, right there for her next to go do her dance call, but to be able to sing that song and this voice is out of this world, and her lovely nature in the room too is so great. So we're excited. It's so fun to be able to discover those people and then to be able to bring them here to go like you're going to see her before she goes to New York and becomes this huge major star. So that's fun too. So it's a lot of great people. And then of course, the Thenardiers, which are they're the comic relief of the show. And they are going to be played by Steve Hitchcock, who's our local person who is such a great, like he for a long time, he's like been the straight man, right? Like he was Cornelius in the last time when I choreographed Hello Dolly, he was Cornelius Hackle. But recently we've been giving him all of these character roles and he's so funny and can really like sink his teeth into those roles. And so I was like, this is perfect for him. It's going to be so much fun to watch him be wiry and kind of gross and disgusting
Yeah.
and funny. And then he's going to be played opposite by our friend from Salina, Maggie Spicer, who was Dawn in Waitress last year. She, again, was a student of mine at OCU and went to New York and then now lives in Salina, runs a theater there. And last year was her first year to come up and audition or come down and audition for us. And she is one of the funniest people I've ever met. And so to have the two of them in the room and play with them and to be able to like craft these two gross but hilarious individuals in this musical will be so much fun.
Yeah.
She has never won without an idea of having to make something funnier. So
yeah, and she's like that on stage and off. She's really very funny.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's great. So this will be a really fun cast.
Yeah,
I think one of the things that, you know, any of the youths can take away if they're listening is that like college is a really important time. Like you make those connections.
Yeah.
Like it's really important to be a nice person.
Absolutely.
I actually, so it's weird how, like what a small world it is, because I went to Vanderbilt University and I was actually there. Both Chris Mann and I were in the School of Music at the same time. He was a vocal major. He might be a year younger than me. I can't remember. And I was a violinist. And like, so I can attest that he's like a very nice boy. Like he was very, very nice. And like, that's so important because when you're making these decisions to be able to say, oh, well, this person was nice at 20. This person was like, you those things, that through line can really follow you. And you don't expect people to be perfect. Everybody's on their journey as an artist. But, by the time you're in college, you got to be like really good at the human part of stuff, right? Like you got to really be.
Even as you're figuring it out, right? It's like you have to realize that we're all kind of figuring it out. We're all on this journey together, and for us too. I say it in the room all the time. It's musical theater. Like we're all pretending to be someone we're not. So we should be having fun, and and if maybe that carrot doesn't make it on stage, it's going to be okay, right?
Right.
But we need to enjoy each other. It's a lot of hard work, but again, it's like, we're all just pretending.
Yeah, it's important to keep that balance, because there is like a lot of like the pursuit of perfection is absolutely what we're after. Sure. Yeah. And also people come to the theater in part because it's not perfect, right? Like because anything can happen and it's so present and live. If you're doing like show prep for Les Mis as an audience member, we have to recommend that you do the like live concert versions.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Don't prep with the movie. Just steer clear.
Yeah.
Do the live. There's some beautiful live concert versions where you see the whole orchestra on stage. Yes. Incredible. Yep. And if you want to sink your teeth into that 1,200-page novel, we would love to hear from anybody who makes it through. Right.
Take notes and send them to me. Right. No, it's true. It is true. You're right. Yeah. We don't say much about the movie, but there are so many great versions to watch, and and it's all on YouTube, so you can find it all. But it is easy to go down a rabbit hole and get lost in all of it. But what's interesting too is that with all the different versions, there have been changes to the script. Like we just got the new script a couple of weeks ago, and they've made a few adjustments to it, so that's fun too. It's not always going to be the same show. So, but we're very excited to do it. We're very excited that it is going to be our last show it's like the finale of our season. Yeah. And it's going to be epic.
It's going to be epic. Yeah. Every year we say, you have to come see, it's really important to see all 5 shows, because they're going to be surprises. Like they're going to be things that you didn't think that you were going to enjoy, and you're going to love it. With Les Mis, my pro tip is I would come early in the run, because people are going to want to come back and see it again. They're going to have the experience, and they're going to say, I need it a second time, or I need to bring a friend. Yeah. So don't wait until Sunday, because then you'll only have one crack at it.
Yeah, it's exciting.